By the early 1970s, Amin had created a sizable force within the Uganda army that could answer to his whims, and Obote recognized this too. A fallout started and finally it culminated into the 1971 coup. At that time, Obote wanted to arrest Idi Amin for various cases including murder. Then, Major General Amin, however, used his men to stop the move and was soon declared president, while Obote was attending a Commonwealth conference in Singapore.
All foreign countries should not fear, and also in my new government I will honor all agreements.
Field Marshal Idi Amin Dada was the third president on independent Uganda after Frederick Mutesa II and Milton Obote. Amin, a bulkhead figure standing at more than 6 feet, was no easy president. He shook the world in different ways through his antics and was at one time one of the most feared presidents in the world. Amin's childhood was a total wreck because he was abandoned by his mother when he was still a baby. He, however, survived the streetwise way, selling snacks and doing casual work to earn a living.
I wanted to tell you this, and when I became bigger, my father has no money. I am to work, digging, and then people give me some money for food and some money I keep it and I pay my school fees and I study through hardship, not just the comfort. And also
in 1946, Amin, who had hobnobbed with soldiers in his early life, courtesy of his mother's marriage to a King's African Rifle clerk, joined the King's African Rifles. It is not clear whether he joined directly as a soldier. However, some sources claim that he was first recruited as a kitchen cook, but soon he became a real soldier.
My rank from the rank of Lance Corporal up to General. Now I became General.
It was while with the KAR that the word Dada was added to his name because he kept mentioning it whenever he greeted a lady. In between soldiering, he enjoyed different sport activities, including boxing, in which he rose to the level of a national heavyweight champion. He also played rugby. He was all the time jolly.
77 this year. In order to make it absolutely clear to you, I have been honored by the highest order of the conqueror of the British imperialism in Uganda.
He was distinguished soldier, easy to pick from the crowd, largely owing to his actions. During an attack against the Mau Mau in Kenya, he fought bravely in places like Kinyoma and Kangema, in which he killed several of them. He was promoted to the rank of sergeant in 1955, and he became a commissioner officer in 1961. He was deployed as commander of a unity in Karamoja that was supposed to stop cattle rustling in the area. By the time Uganda got her independence, Idi Amin was once one of the leading soldiers who formed the first Uganda Independence Army. By 1964, he had been named Deputy Army Commander, while Shaban Opolot was the Army Commander. Milton Obote then deployed him to help the Katanga rebels who were fighting against Zaire government. Later, it emerged that Amin had indeed sold gold and diamond given to him by the rebels in return for firearms. Much later, the issue went before Parliament for debate. However, Obote snapped it in the bud by arresting all the ringleaders, hence saving himself and Amin.
Our trade with the rest of the world represents a strong British interest. We buy from the rest of the world, and British goods in Uganda amount to 40% of what we buy from all countries in the world. I suppose that...
Having struck a wonderful chord, when Obote fell out with Kabaka Frederick Mutesa, it was Idi Amin, then a colonel of the army, that returned to survival. On 24th May 1966, Obote sent a force commanded by Idi Amin to attack the Lubiri in order to bring the Kabaka alive or dead. Amin carried out this order diligently. While he obeyed his master's orders to the letter, Amin had his personal ambitions up his sleeve. For example, he was recruiting hundreds of his kinsmen into the army. These were to come in handy later when he decided to take over high office. Among these include Sudanese and Congolese. By the early 1970s, Amin had created a sizable force within the Uganda army that could answer to his whims, and Obote recognized this too. A fallout started, and finally it culminated into the 1971 coup. At that time, Obote wanted to arrest Idi Amin for various cases including murder. Then Major General Amin, however, used his men to stop the move and was soon declared president, while Obote was attending a Commonwealth conference in Singapore. There was jubilation when Amin captured power, largely because Obote had lost popularity. But soon it was noticed that Amin was not the savior the country thought he was. Nonetheless, he started off by releasing all political prisoners who had been imprisoned by Obote. He appointed an all-inclusive cabinet full of professionals and experts, which were hailed by both local and international commentators. But underneath this all, there were murder going on, especially on Langi soldiers in Uganda Army. According to various accounts, over 1,000 soldiers from private up to the rank of colonel were murdered in the first days after the coup. Outside the army, the first few years of Amin's regime saw the murder of several prominent personalities, including Ben Kewanuka, their Attorney General. By 1972, the economy, which he had found in a good condition, was shriveling. He had already caught up with religious extremism and had shifted from being a darling of the Western world, UK, to the East, especially Russia. He claimed to stand for the Palestinian cause and vowed to fight for it. However, it was his dream to chase away Asians, who hitherto owned most key businesses that shook the world. He gave them just 90 days to live or perish. Many of them left, others did not, but instead chose to commit suicide. Asians' businesses were then distributed amongst his cohorts.
For the economy of Uganda, and I must make sure that every Ugandans get a fruit of independence. Since independent, actually Uganda is not yet independent, I will say that. Even when the British handed over on the 9th of October 1962, the Uganda still not yet independent. Uganda will be independent after this, my decision, after I want to see that the whole Kampala street is not full of Indians. It must be proper black, and administration in those shops is run by the Ugandans.
He then embarked on building his army as one of the best in Africa at that time, with fighter planes, MiGs from Russia, tankers among others. He was so smited with his abilities that he threatened to fight imperialists in South Africa and Israelis from Palestine. In 1974, he got an international respite when he held the OAU conference in Kampala. Notable development at that time included the construction of both Nile Hotel and Nile Mansion to host the conference.
I am speaking about Sinai, which is a part of Africa, and also Palestine is very important for the history of every mankind who believe in religious, whether you are a Christian or you are a Muslim. You must see that this particular point is taken very serious.
While killings continued unabated, Amin further took his antics to the international level. In 1976, he allowed a hijacked Air France plane bound for Israel to land at Entebbe airport. The Israeli, however, attacked and rescued their citizens a few days later. His claims on land at the border with Tanzania and earlier claims on land at the border with Kenya continued.
And those who are of Tanzania, Kenya, Rwanda, they will have to go immediately within less than a week to their country they come from, because they are not very far from Uganda.
Within less than a week?
Yes, because they are just here. And some of them have got 5 passports. They are actually smugglers.
In 1978, a main soldier launched an attack at the Kagera salient in Tanzania and captured it. Little known to Amin, this was the sign that the Tanzanians and various exile groups wanted to get rid of him. By late 1978, they attacked, and by April 1979, Amin had been defeated. Amin fled to Libya and later Saudi Arabia, where he died on August 16, 2003. Officially, Amin had 5 wives, all of whom he treated as first ladies at different functions. They included Kay Amin, Nora Amin, Medina Amin, Sarah Amin, and Mariamu Amin. The number of children he fathered is above 30. Thank you for watching this video. Till my next video.
Why do you ask me about Hitler? The Hitler's problem is now past tense. Now we are looking forward for the future generations.